Hi, I'm August Keller, and this is my review of Babygirl. So, Babygirl is very good. Great, even. It's a nuanced character study, and by nuance, I mean it really examines shades of gray. The protagonist makes a lot of unlikable choices, but she as a character is arguably sympathetic. She's doing things that I don't approve of for sure, but I don't know if I necessarily wholly and completely disliked her. I felt for her in a lot of ways. And at the very least, she's very fascinating. And yeah, of course, she's wronging people. There are other characters I feel for more in the movie, like her husband. But I don't see her as a straight up villain. I see why she is the way she is. And I think a big reason for that is because, her flaws are connected to systemic issues. And the movie really kind of draws a line with that. Women. So, I guess I should explain the themes of the movie really kind of touch on sexuality, power, boundaries, honesty, and self-discovery. We live in I think the movie's really calling out that we live in a world where, we are supposed to suppress our honest selves, and, we're not really allowed to talk about what we actually want, if it's outside the norm. And especially the higher up you go, the more power you have, the more people see you, the more you're supposed to be this manicured, curated kind of personality. And, frankly, this movie says, kind of points out that women especially have to deal with those kinds of expectations. So her acting out is kind of because she doesn't know who she is. She's so busy being who she's supposed to be that she doesn't even know exactly what she wants. Or, I think that's at least one of her layers. Because another interesting thing about this movie is that the shifting power dynamics, like who's in control, who's taking advantage of who, it's kind of hard to always know, and I think that's that's purposeful. Dickinson's character, he's kind of enigmatic. Seems like he's in control, but he also seems to have some vulnerability that he's running away from. And she likes giving away the control, but she, in a way, she's in control in that way. She's in control because she's choosing to have someone dominate her. So anyways, all these things are driven by a lot of shifting drama. Obviously the characters have a lot of layers, a lot of different motivations that almost seem to be conflicting. And it's like, from scene to scene, you don't know who's going to do what next. There's a lot of layered mind games, of course, and complex motivations. So, these characters are who's ahead, who's the step ahead. I've already said that, but that's a lot of the intrigue of this movie. It's very entertaining, of course, but I also find it there's substance in all of that. There's a lot of implicit dialogue, a lot of what people are saying has deeper meaning. They're innuendos maybe, or maybe they're kind of hinting at something. There's a lot of course, interpersonal dynamics, a lot of characters, bringing out different sides of each other. There's good representation, of course. Like I said, there's women. There's a few people of color too. I think that's a minor element of the film, but mostly it's the women that it's representing. And there's some unexpected tenderness that I think really fleshes out the script. It's really easy to just take this movie on face value, like a premise like this on face value, just kind of make it as an erotic thriller, don't have substance, kind of even judge these characters. But this movie really kind of takes the time to extend some understanding to them and kind of not necessarily judge them immediately. You can disapprove of the choices that they're making, the people that they're, if they're harming people, but you can also take a moment to understand why a person might do that kind of thing. What are the social issues around it that are pushing people to act this way? Meanwhile, the acting is really I found it to be kind of like a knockout. It's a whirlwind of intense internal conflicts, raw vulnerability, range, a lot of chemistry, of course. I mean, this movie kind of hinges on the chemistry between the main characters, and there's growth. Nicole Kidman's character changes. Maybe not in the most obvious of ways, but I think she kind of discovers discovers herself in some ways, and she has a deeper confidence. So yeah. Anyways, all this is to say that I think Babygirl really kind of displays the extremely personal side of social commentary. This movie does a good job of pointing out bigger, broader issues, but making them very intimate, which is, I think, kind of the best of both worlds. Technically, Babygirl really brews tension. Its direction creates an erotic thriller exterior, but inside that there's a heartfelt core, like I said. So the tone is steamy, but deep down is there's like a sweetness to it. The cinematography uses shallow focus, handheld movement, POVs, and like tight framing a lot of the time to really create a lot of intimacy. There are some psychological montages and some intercuts that break up the editing's. It's kind of almost like a stream of conscious structure. It's almost like sometimes I don't even know where one scene is ending and another scene is beginning. It's really kind of very fluid, I would say. Besides some very purposeful split cuts, the sound maintains a very grounded perspective. It's very, I want to say intimate again. It's very just personal. There are fitting pop songs, operatics, and there's like this really breathy, like breathing kind of motif in the music that makes it very eclectic, but also very fitting. The production design reinforces messages by conveying corporate America. That's a very big part of this movie. Again, I think that's kind of pointing out, the social pressures of professionalism. The cast has top-notch fame. I think Kidman is, one of the biggest stars there are. And her fit is really meta because, she, as a woman, Kidman personally, she has a lot of social pressures on her. She probably has like a team of people telling her how to manicure her public persona. So, and that's kind of what this character is going through. So I don't know if there's a better person to play this role today than Kidman. And of course, Banderas is a big name. Dickinson is a up-and-comer. So I think the cast is excellent. The effects have a couple of stunts, nothing too major, but they're there. So yeah, overall, I think Babygirl really evokes a lot of food for thought and through visceral emotions. It uses the drama to push a lot of themes, which I thought was great. So yeah, I think it's a very good movie. Like I said, I think it's even kind of great. I don't mind calling it great myself. And yeah, if you're interested, definitely check it out, especially if this is your kind of thing. I would recommend it. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. If you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to like and subscribe. I also have an Instagram linked in the description. I would love support there or anywhere else here on my page. But at the very least, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Thanks.